Before we get into this, let me just remind you, the night is dark and full of spoilers. So if you haven't seen any of Game of Thrones Season 6 yet, or you haven't seen Episode 7, then please go ahead and watch it, then come back to the video, because otherwise I don't want to be the one to spoil what's been so far an amazing season. Hi guys, and welcome to Word Life Comic Corner presents Brain of Thrones. Brain of Thrones is a brand new segment on this channel that is going to bring you all the latest news, reviews, preview breakdowns, theories, interviews with the characters, and everything in between. In this episode, we are going to focus purely on Season 6, Episode 8's preview. So at the end of Episode 7, we got a preview coming into Episode 8. So we're going to go through and give our predictions on what we think is going to happen and where it's going to lead to for the rest of the series. As we left off, Sansa has just sent a raven out to Littlefinger to get the help from the Knights of the Vale after unfortunately not being able to get enough men to fight the Boltons. Jaime Lannister has arrived at Riverrun to try and negotiate with the Blackfish over surrendering the castle back to the Freys, and it looks like war's going to break out there. We've got Cersei, who's obviously going through a bit of a tough time with half of her family either leaving, dead, or just totally against her, and she's going up against the radical High Sparrow and his militant army. And then we've got Arya Stark, who, as you know from Episode 7, is what looks like to be pretty badly wounded after getting attacked by the Waif. We're going to get straight into the video right now, and I'm going to discuss everything that happens bit by bit in the preview breakdown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of breaking it down frame by frame, I'm going to go through character, or groups of characters that are in the same scenes. And we're going to start with the opening scene of the preview is Cersei choosing violence. Now Cersei has obviously had a very difficult time in Game of Thrones, between losing 2 of her children, being chucked into confinement by the High Sparrow, having to do the Walk of Shame, and now she's risking losing Tommen. So she's now, with her zombie mountain backing her up, choosing violence and going up against the Faith militant. Later on in the preview, we see the mountain, what it looks like to be ripping one of the Faith militants' heads off, which is the world's strongest man in real life, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the strongest in Thrones. It's just really interesting to see if Loras survives and how the High Sparrow is going to react to what's happened. We also see Cersei arriving what looks to be at her trial, straight from choosing violence. We all are assuming that we're going to get Clegane Bowl, but given the fact of what happened in Episode 7 with the Hound currently being far from King's Landing, I'm not sure whether we'll get it at Cersei's trial. I think that the battle, or the combat by trial, is going to be far too soon for him to be able to make it back to King's Landing, but I could be wrong. It does seem though she is definitely going for combat by trial, and the mountain is going to be her champion. Next we're going to cut to Brienne and Jaime. Brienne is attempting to persuade the Blackfish to surrender Riverrun to the Freys, and it looks like there is possibly going to be some clashes between Jaime and Brienne. Now, one of my favourite ever character interactions was Jaime and Brienne when she was escorting him back to King's Landing. I just thought they played off each other really well. The actors portrayed the characters brilliantly, and they had a mutual respect for each other. Jaime giving Brienne his Valyrian steel sword and kitting her out in armour, and they just understood each other. They were both outcasts in a certain sense, with Jaime being a Kingslayer and Brienne being a 6'26" beast of a woman. No offence to Gwendolyn Christie, but she is tough as balls. We then also see Brienne leaving Riverrun and looking back. Now, I didn't see Pod in the boat. Whether Pod was rowing or whether he's been taken hostage, I don't know. But it does seem that Riverrun went under siege and she doesn't look too happy. I don't think that we're going to see the end of Jaime Lannister, so I don't think it's her upset at losing a friend. I think it's too early for Jaime to go out, and actually it'd be quite a shock if he did. But I think maybe she feels that she's losing her or breaking her oath. Next, Tyrion, back to Marine, looking up at the ceiling as it seems to be crumbling and smoking. Is Drogon back with Daenerys, or are the dragons flying free? If it's the former, how is she going to feel with him having negotiated with the Masters and the whole 7-year abolishing slavery, which is very much a Lincoln move. If any of you know about American history, then you'll know that Lincoln done something very similar with slave masters. I don't know how she react with that, because she seems, everyone keeps on saying that Daenerys is turning into Mad Queen Daenerys. I don't think she is. I do think she's getting overrun with power, so I don't know how they're going to clash, and hopefully it sorts itself out. Now, also, if it is the 2 dragons that Tyrion released flying around, are they behaving themselves? I mean, they've been locked up for a long period of time, barely really eating anything. Fresh human is potentially on the menu. Is he looking up at the ceiling thinking, fuck me, I've made a fucking mistake and I'm a fucking idiot? Or is he thinking, yes, be free, I'm secretly a Targaryen? Okay, we'll leave the theories for now. Next, we've got the Hound going ham with his axe after the death of Ian McShane's character, Brother Ray, and the encampment. It seems like he is going after the Brotherhood with banners, and he's not going to stop. I mean, the Hound is pretty strong. I was cracking up when Ian McShane was like, it must have taken some man to take you down. It wasn't a man, it was a woman. And it just shows that it really hurt his pride, and now he's back to his normal self, and with just an axe, it looks like he's going to do some pretty bad damage. And finally, we've got Arya running from the Waif. So it seems that Arya has somewhat recovered from her wounds, and seems to be free running, doing some serious parkour. God knows where she learned that from, to get away from the Waif. I hate the Waif. I mean, that shows a good actor portraying a character. I can't stand her, and I want her to get stuck with Needle, to be fair, because I just want to see Arya wearing the Waif's face and going off and being her own faceless woman, not following the House of Black and White, but literally going out there and being like, I learned everything off of you, Jackin, so I'm just going to take it on myself, and I'm going to continue my list of getting the Hound, getting Cersei, and just fucking everything up. I actually reckon somewhere along the line, Arya is going to start to lose her mind, and she seems to be losing it already. So it's going to be interesting to see where she goes towards the end of the season, and especially season 7. And because I love her character, and I don't want to see her go too early. Plus, we're running out of fucking Starks. I mean, there's Rickon Stark, Arya Stark, and Bran Stark are the only ones we've really got left, considering that Sansa is technically a Bolton now, and then before that a Lannister, and Jon Snow is Jon Snow, so he isn't an actual Stark by name. He is a bastard, and he knows nothing. Alright guys, that's the end of today's episode. I really hope you like what you saw of my Season 6 Episode 8 preview breakdown. If you enjoyed it, then please, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and don't forget, like and subscribe, leave a comment. Any ideas or suggestions you might have for this channel and the direction it's going, leave a comment below and I'll answer. So anyway now, I've been Jay. Have an awesome day.